hold to it and shoot for the sky.
And welcome to Ring Post Daily Podcast. We are here tonight without the champ for very good reason. It is Tyreek's birthday, so happy birthday to the champ, Mr. RPD. Hey, you know, at least he had a valid reason. Ever since you lost that Brotherhood title and then your RPD title, the past 2 or 3 episodes, Eddie Wade's kind of went in hiding.
Listen,
Been so used to being out there with 2 titles on your shoulders, now you don't know what it's like to be out there with none of them.
in case you didn't realize, a couple weeks ago, I suffered a massive blow to the head. An inadvertent shot by the perfect creation. And you expect me to show up and talk after that? No, I had to take time to get my mind right, prepare for this Saturday, because I laid out a challenge to a Mr. Max Page a couple shows back there at GR Hampton for this show coming up at Central this Saturday. I've still yet to get an answer. So Max Page, please, I'm right here. I will break you and I'm going to take my title back. Sorry. I'll just beat you up when I see you.
Well, being the interviewer that I am, let me ask you this. Now that you have no titles, nothing going for you right now, does that ever make you a little uncomfortable in the Brotherhood? Right now, Sarge and Austin's got titles. Landon Gray, the Perfect Creations, he's new, so he's still got time. You've been there a while. You lost not 1 but 2 titles. And I'm not saying that to get at you, but I'm just asking.
It sounds like you
does
are.
that light a fire under you, or does it put some pressure on you in the Brotherhood now that you don't have the title?
I'll tell you exactly what it does. It makes me the most dangerous that I've ever been. Because you see now, that's literal weight off of my shoulders. It gives me time to focus on not what it takes to be a champion, but the real nitty gritty of being a real man in this business. Something a lot of people don't understand.
And let me ask you on behalf of the fans and stuff, too, of TSW that watch. For the past number of months, you and Landon Gray, back when he was known as the Golden Boy, you guys had a feud that went on for months and months and months. All of a sudden, out of the blue, now you guys are best friends, you know, going out and getting coffee and watching the game together. You know, you guys are the best of friends now. And is this a tactic to use Landon Gray, make him feel like you're his friend, or is this you being vulnerable in a way? Now you're on his side. Now you can somewhat, put him on a pedestal. But back before he was Landon Gray in the Brotherhood, you would have never done that.
I'm never vulnerable. There is no time ever that Eddie Wade is vulnerable. Now, the battles that me and him had, for better or for worse, they made me better. Like, yeah, going into that cage did not feel good. Neither did the multiple times that he pulled some of my own tactics out on me, and that's smart. That's why I like him. That's why I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. I was a little skeptical when he first came out there But in that match, he proved right then and there that he has what it takes.
What I found bizarre was a month prior to him joining the Brotherhood, I was interviewing him, and there's clips of it where he's saying that uh, Lennox Kid was his favorite tag team partner of all time. A month goes by, 30 days go by, and his mind changes in 30 days.
He found a
Like,
real partner. What can I say? He found a
but
real partner.
he found a real partner, but where was that a month ago when he was uh, so saying glazing Lennox Kid's donuts? Where was that?
Where was
You
that?
know,
I know exactly where it
they
was.
they were ruling with an iron fist, tag team champs, and he threw that and the belt away for the Brotherhood
We're getting
and
those titles
Eddie
back, so it
Wade.
doesn't matter.
And you think that you are a better partner for him than Lennox Kid, trading one masked wrestler for another.
Don't you compare me to Lennox Kid. No.
Oh,
We're not going to do
I
that.
won't.
We are not
I
going to
won't.
do that. No, listen.
I
Lennox
won't.
Kid
Because
is
Lennox
nothing
Kid wears
but
a
a
mask.
sad loser.
Lennox Kid wears a mask to hide his superhero identity. He's not a hero if people know who he is.
I'm not listening
You
to
wear
this.
yours because you don't have hair. Yeah. Yeah.
You done?
Yeah.
So,
Well, we'll start.
before I decide to just not do, before I decide to walk out of here, let's go on with this planned episode. Let's give
Well,
these people something to talk about.
well, like I was saying, Brotherhood member here, Eddie Wade, and me, Joey Hutzing, right here on Ring Post Daily. And here tonight we have what we were going to do with Ty. We'll just do it with me and Eddie, is just name 3 of our favorite WrestleMania events, matches. Just 3 of them, the top 3 or whatever. But yeah, it's WrestleMania season, and we have a super card coming up. And I don't know if you even watched the old episodes or not. I made Tyreek a deal. If he would have beat you and he cashed in his one-on-one opportunity against me, picking his challenger, the deal was to keep the Brotherhood out of WrestleMania Supercard.
Well, that's insanity. That's insanity. I didn't even
yeah.
You know, that's a funny thing. I didn't even suspect it. I didn't think that you guys had the gall to go that low. But you know what? I'll remember that. Because, we know Tyreek's training. It'd be a shame if somebody put it into his career before it even got started.
Well, let me tell you this. Tyreek was the one who said no deal.
Oh.
I was the one that offered it. Now, the deal was if he would have chosen me. If he would have chosen me and given me that one-on-one match. Pretty much given me his one-on-one match. If he would have picked me as his one and solo competitor, the deal was I would not have been able to use my 1-point advantage on him at the WrestleMania Supercard, going in 0-0 fair square. But Tyreek said no, and we went on, and he, with the Supercard that we were on, Elimination Chamber and Revolution, and you know what? He didn't take the deal, and he won.
And he's put the nail in his title reign.
So now, not only does he have you, another competitor that he could have very well kept out of this match, not only does he have you involved, but now I am going to cash in my 1-point advantage, and I'm going into WrestleMania as of right now, as we speak, with 1 point. I mean, I'm already 1 point more than Eddie Wade at this point. And I hope I can keep that up, because I'm going to walk out with either your belt, Ty's belt, whoever's belt. It's going to be my belt by the end of the night. So, get that out of your minds. But tonight, we're getting into WrestleMania season, WrestleMania mode, and I'm going to let you go first since you are the wrestler and I'm the interviewer. But I'll let you go first. 3 top WrestleMania matches. What's your first one? You go, I'll go, you go, I'll go, you go, I'll go.
I was gonna say these could always, change on depending on what day you ask me. But I really started giving it some thought whenever I seen that we were about 5 minutes away from showtime. I was like, better consider some things.
It's
And
funny too because WrestleMania 42 coming up in like 3 weeks. Whatever your top 3 favorite matches are, or whatever your favorite match is, that could change because after WrestleMania 42, you could have a brand new favorite WrestleMania number 1 match or top 3. I mean, so that could change in 3 weeks.
I think I'm gonna go Roman Cody WrestleMania 40 when your tribal chief was dethroned. When Cody Rhodes finished the story, and more importantly, when you took that beautiful length of absence away and there was some peace in my ears.
Not only I might have left the show, but it looks like your titles have left your shoulders because you ain't got none of those.
You're beating a dead horse, man. You're beating a dead horse.
It's the only horse I need. But okay, so that's your one. That's one of your threes.
Yeah, because not that I need to explain myself to anybody,
True.
but whenever you go back, you watch WrestleMania 39. Everybody thinks Cody's finishing that story then. And then here comes Solo. Okay. Then, Roman wins, holds it for another year. And then we get to, the Night 1 main event, which was the tag match. Also a pretty good match. But,
Great match. Yeah.
you see that gives you the Bloodline rules. But ended up backfiring because you see, John Cena, Jay,
Taker,
yeah. Steve maybe could have showed
Usos,
up, but Steve was a little
Sikoa.
lazy. So all of that, and then everybody
yeah,
coming out to celebrate with with Cody after Reigns had been beaten. That was a glorious moment in professional wrestling, and it took place on the grandest stage.
Okay. Should have started. Sorry, should have done this earlier. That was WrestleMania 41, correct?
40.
40. Yeah, because last year was 41. You're right. I always get my numbers mixed up. And I'm glad we go by WrestleMania or WrestleMania 42. If I want to look up a certain match on a WrestleMania, let's say WrestleMania 6, WrestleMania 7, WrestleMania 8 or 9, the WrestleMania logo is Roman numerals, and I'm not the best at Roman numerals. So I kind of liked it when we got out of the Roman numerals thing, personally. Okay, for me, I'm going out with a banger too, I guess. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock, WrestleMania 17. That might be before you and Tyreek were into wrestling. Probably before one of y'all were even born, I imagine. But that was 2001.
Yeah, that match predates me.
What year were you born?
I was born in the great year of 2003.
Wow. So my favorite WrestleMania match, and Eddie Wade isn't even. I mean, here you are nowadays, former champions. Eddie, you go from Eddie Two Belts to Eddie No Belts. You're on a podcast with me. I mean, your life can't get no better. And when my favorite WrestleMania match happens, you're not even born. You're not even thought of. Wow, that's crazy. That's how far back I guess WrestleMania really goes. how old
That's
I'm
so
really getting.
hard.
But no, for anyone who has seen it or hasn't seen it, I don't even know if you've seen it, but their match at WrestleMania 17, it's probably the most WrestleMania watched main event watched by me. But no, it's a really good WrestleMania main event. I mean, if you ain't seen it, I recommend it. But I believe it was a no Yeah, it was a no disqualification match. Uh, WWE title, Rock versus Austin. We get the iconic, and you've probably seen it. Limp Biscuit, My Way trailer for the match. Uh, yeah, but that's one of my favorites. Probably my main one. Uh,
A respectable choice.
so what else in yours? What's your second one? After we get done doing this, we can talk TSW or whatever.
I think my second would have to be probably Taker Sean 26.
That's a good one.
Career versus streak. Like, don't get me wrong, I absolutely adore their match from 25.
You're
I
right.
just think 26 is just a little bit better for me, which
Especially
is a
with
right opinion. But
especially with so much like riding on it, not just a streak, but a career.
what
Like,
to think too? They had that banger at 25. They go and even have a average match, then it's automatically looked at as worse because of the match they had at 25 being so good. So
now
I
you
think with
know.
the expectation on that
Sorry.
too, but I mean that's pretty much the expectation was already so high, then they went and exceeded it. Like I don't think anybody left that show feeling like, oh, that match sucked. Like, or that
Right.
wasn't as that, or even people probably wouldn't even like, oh, that was worse than that wasn't as good as the last time. Like, I was gonna say, as far as I know, I never seen any of that. I never see like reports of like people being massively upset because the match quality was so much worse. So therefore, in my opinion, that makes 26 better with the story elements.
Um. Oh well, there was. I was gonna say. To me, I could like that's like a actual. You know, Shawn Michaels might have been retiring at that Mania, but it was like a streak versus career match, and he retired. Well, Gunther, I would say I'd say he really did retire AJ. AJ put his thing on the line. There was like people thinking AJ could have won, but he actually lost. But Cena and Goldberg, that was their retirement match, their last match. How is Gunther the career killer when 2 out of 3 of those matches were retirement matches? Even if Cena or someone would have won, they still would have retired.
That's a fair
Like,
point.
I don't know.
As much as
That's one.
as much as it physically hurts my head, you're making a lot of sense right now.
And then the Gunther thing, I get. You know, he makes all the Cena and everyone tap, but you know, fans aren't quick to forget that he tapped out at WrestleMania against Jey Uso. No one's gonna
No, they
forget
are
that
not.
right before he forgot. No one's gonna forget that right before he retired AJ Styles 3 weeks before then. He technically did tap out to AJ on Raw, although he still came out the winner. So that's another thing I don't get. He's coming out saying, "Oh, I made Cena tap like a bit." Yeah, well, you tapped out too, but you lost your world title in the process to Jey Uso, like at WrestleMania. Like, how are you going to brag about making someone tap when you are obviously capable of tapping yourself, and you have, and Not just in regular old, oh, it's a Thursday and I'm in a match and I want to get out of this move type of crap. No, this is main event WrestleMania stuff, and you're tapping out. Like, how are you gonna sit there and brag about Cena tapping out when you lost world titles tapping out? I just don't get it. I don't get it. Like, I understand. It does. Gunther is one of like the toughest people, like toughest wrestlers to be, and I'm
I think they
calling it
just
right
buried
now.
it into the ground.
Yeah, and I'm calling it right now. He's facing Rollins at Mania. I'm telling you, I'm calling it right now, man. If they do a retire match where, oh, well, Rollins wants to put his career in the line, don't expect Rollins to lose. There's no way Rollins is retiring yet. I think Rollins got another 5-10 years in him if he wants. But if they do a match where now he has a chance to retire Rollins, I'm not thinking my money's going to be on Gunther on that one. Just
I
being
think
putting
it would
that
make
out
more
there.
sense if it's more like Gunther being like, "Hey, you've overstayed your welcome. I'm personally gonna retire you," and then Seth obviously like, "No, that's not gonna happen." But like Gunther saying, like not saying that Gunther's gonna like obligate him to do it, but Gunther just put out saying, "Hey, I'm gonna beat you so bad that you don't want to do this anymore." I
Well,
think that's what the route Gunther needs to take,
wouldn't
especially if
it
he wants
be
to beat a guy like
crazy?
Seth Rollins.
Wouldn't it be crazy as heck if on Raw, like I mean, we got like 3 Raw, I think 2 or 3 Raws left before Mania.
I want to
What
say
if on one of the
two Raws,
one
3
if
SmackDowns.
what if on one of them Raws, Gunther comes out and chokes out Becky Lynch to get it Rollins?
Ah,
Holy
I don't
shit!
think that'll happen.
That would be dope.
And I was the one
She's
that
out
put
there
the
talking to AJ Lee in the ring, and AJ gets out, and Becky's like, "That's right, you get out of my ring, dope, blah blah blah." And all of a sudden, Gunther grabs her in the chokehold and just starts ragdolling her. Like, dude, like, just to get, like, I mean, I know it's not gonna happen, but like, I mean, I grew up
little
in an
Joey can
era.
dream.
I grew up in an era where Stone Cold and Triple H would beat Lita and the Hardy Boys with a steel chair all night long. Like I watched an era. I grew up in an era where Stone Cold tried to kill Rikishi by running him down a truck. Like, I grew up in like a hardcore like era that we don't have too much of anymore. And yeah, so my second one I would have to say would be Cena versus Rock 2. Um, or 1. My bad. Uh, the first one after the Miz beat up Mania, 27, I think. No,
It would have been he beat Miz
28 and
lost.
29. It was
Yeah, it would
28.
have been 28. Yeah, I was gonna say for
Yeah.
sure.
Uh,
The Rock got
I
injured,
I
I believe, their
loved
second match.
every Rock Cena promo. We said WrestleMania 28, right?
Yes,
Yeah, I loved every Cena Rock promo match. Uh get together, all that stuff. Uh, the reason I also like that match is because that was like in 2012, I believe, and that is when like MGK sung John Cena to the ring at Mania, and that's where I first discovered Machine Gun Kelly was WrestleMania 28 because I mean at that time iPod touches and everything out there, it was just like okay, well, who's this guy? And then before that, now he's my favorite. Now he's my favorite rapper and stuff. So that because I got to experience MGK for the first time through this. Heck yeah, that definitely I definitely have to put that in there somewhere point wise. But yeah, I mean seeing a Rock 1 and 2 was good, 28 and 29. But The first one was just like we've never seen this before. The second one, it was kind of like there ain't no way The Rock's walking out 2-1 against Cena. There's no way.
Yeah.
So I mean, it would have been it would, and then you got to think at that WrestleMania 40 Cody Roman match. You said we got Rock and Cena one more time in the ring. I mean, yeah, that's pretty. That's pretty crazy because then you got WrestleMania like 32 when The Rock and the Wyatt family and the Cena came out. I mean, there's a lot of if you think about it, there's an actual lot of Rock and Cena moments in
Oh yeah.
general. But
I mean,
WrestleMania wise,
even before that, they teamed together at Survivor Series to take on the Awesome Truth.
yeah. But WrestleMania wise alone, they've appeared at least 4 or 5 WrestleManias, either in some form or fashion, whether it was in the ring or backstage or whatnot. Uh, but but do you have a third match?
There's a few to choose from, but hmm,
And you know,
yeah,
just
I think
stop.
I'm going with this one. The Money in the Bank ladder match from WrestleMania 25, where Punk won his second Money in the Bank.
Okay, which WrestleMania was that?
25, same the one. Yeah, yeah. I believe they were in Dallas on the big star.
Yeah. Okay. Mine. Hold on. Okay. Mine, and it was probably again before you or Tyreek was born. Kane versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania 14.
Funny enough, this one was I almost picked this one.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites because that was my favorite version of Kane, and uh, it was one of the big marquee matches of that WrestleMania, like the one of the matches everyone wanted to see.
Think about this
And
too. I'm pretty sure that match was the reason they brought the whole idea of Kane began. Right? Like that was the end game. And to think of how long he ended up sticking around, the different iterations,
hmm
it just goes to show you why Kane is easily top 5 if you're a real fan of professional wrestling.
oh yeah, like we said around Royal Rumble Supercard. If there's one person I could have had at least win a Rumble, I don't know about winning the main event at Mania or not. Uh, I feel like that's pushing for more than I'd be asking for. But to give Kane a Royal Rumble win, yeah, that would have been one of my things I would have done differently. And with Kane, uh, Kane is one of the best. Uh, I guess at this point too, Kane was supposed to be a one-off character. This was supposed to be face taker at Mania, get the Mania face taker, and it's over with. But it was around this time that Vince McMahon realized I can get more out of this Kane guy. He can do more than just this one program and vanish forever. And it was due to this feud with Undertaker and this match at Mania and so on that they
I mean, I
just kept
think that,
Kane around.
in my opinion, I've seen this said before, but as far as like longevity and everything goes, the story of the Brothers of Destruction is untouchable.
The what? The what
The
is?
story of like not like them as a tag team, but just in general, the Brothers of
Oh
Construction,
yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
Destruction.
Well,
I said
well, well,
construct.
well.
Oh my god, I've been on Instagram Reels too long.
Well, you, okay, so they might. I think they were. I mean, you got to think. I think they were one of the most dominant tag teams.
Yeah, that's
problem
not me
is,
discrediting them. I
no,
was gonna
no,
say they ran out of comp.
the problem is back in their day, in order for them to have a tag team that was believable to beat them, they had to put teams together like Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple
Triple
H.
H, yeah, like
There's no way there's no way that, uh, let me think of two people that you might remember from that time. Uh, well, but I'm thinking like 2002, and I think that's before you were born. But it's just some of the teams they had back then were just like Scotty Too Hottie and all them. They were not going to
yeah,
beat
like I get that.
Undertaker and Kane.
Like yeah,
And
like
if they would have been put in a more, if in a different era with like Demolitions that's going to the Hall of Fame this year, Road Warriors, if they were in today's era with like Wyatt families, which I think they wrestled, but anyways,
a different iteration, but yeah.
you put them in any era, and like how, I mean, yeah,
Literally,
let's see some big men.
other than
Let's see
like
some,
literally the Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression era, like
yeah.
that's literally the only time that there wasn't enough like comparable teams. Because
But
like
I'd like to see
you
him
get
fight against
some.
bigger tag teams, but
That's
they just didn't
true.
have them at the
I was gonna say
time.
Connor and Victor from the Ascension. That'd have probably been a big meaty match.
Well, that's what
Uh,
I like about the new like wrestling games. Um, is that's what I would do. I would go on there and make my universe and stuff like that. Where like I want to see the Brothers of Destruction maybe take on Evolution and maybe take on the Hart Foundation, whatever. Kurt Angle face Bret Hart so much, and which, by the way, I will point out, when I found out that 2K26 was not coming out for Xbox One, which is the Xbox I have over there, I found out like maybe a month before the new game came out.
so you found out way too late,
Too late to
essentially.
even think about doing anything about it. I was like, well, that's gone. Heck, you know what PUBG is?
I'm aware.
I play that on the Xbox One. So one night I'm feeling good. I'm like, I'm gonna play some PUBG for a bit. I ain't played in a while. And it's loading up. I'm getting in my chair all ready to play it because I love PUBG. And it pops up on my screen. As of November 2025, Xbox One no longer supports this game. It says game is now moved over to Xbox higher than what you got. So that broke my heart. Like, oh my God, like you're taking my everything. Like PUBG is a good game, but no, same thing with the wrestling game though. But that's what I like about Universe Mode. I make my Brothers of Destruction face teams that they didn't get a chance to face because in their day they did not have a. I mean, you can put them in there team after team, and them little tiny skinny guys back then who were in tag teams were not gonna go out there and defeat Kane and Taker, and uh, but yeah, so far, not one of us guessed. Not one of us had a favorite from the same WrestleMania as the other ones. Yours was more between like the 26s and the 25s and higher, and mine was more older than you because I was I'm older than you, so mine was more of like a
Clearly,
older. Yeah, mine was like more of an older one. It's kind of crazy though to think that you and Tyreek became fans around like, I don't know, like probably like 8 years after I was already a Cena fan or whatever. Like it's like, oh my God, like I was watching John Cena rapping in like 2002, 2003 or 4, and you were probably just a toddler. Like, it's crazy
Let
to
me tell
think
you
that.
my introduction to professional wrestling.
Yeah.
So I'm a wee young lad, and you know, I've had some of the figures, but I didn't really know what they were and everything. But then I played SVR 2010, locked it, and then I played the greatest professional wrestling video game of all time. I will not argue with anybody over it. SmackDown vs. Raw 2011. That game,
Is that the one where you were able like to walk backstage and all
yes,
that?
yes.
I liked it. It wasn't my favorite, but I liked it.
And then after that, I started watching about a few months before Punk and Cena had their match at Money in the Bank. And then my first ever pay per view live, I was going to say at the time I was very distraught about it, but I got to witness CM Punk leave with the WWE Championship as a wee young lad, 2011. Watching on my television screen, knowing that Cena was fired. Then 2 weeks later, he was back, though. And so was Punk. And, there it went.
Hmm. I remember. I don't remember my introduction into wrestling, but I do remember like certain things. Like if you wa- if I went back and watched videos on VHS in the '90s when I was a kid, you can see like uh I mean I remember watching wrestling as a kid, but it just goes back like as far as like 1990, I say six or something. Yeah, I think it was six. 1996, I was a little kid, probably 3 or 4. Wrestling's on in the background on the TV. So I know that they had that on probably because that's what I was interested in. I remember when I first became introduced into video games on the PlayStation 1. One of the very first games I remember playing is games like WWF Attitude, WWF Warzone, the original SmackDown, the WWF SmackDown game. Um, I just remember wrestling. I mean, like, I just remember always having wrestling figures. I mean, like, yeah, like I remember all that. I remember one time, get this. So, one time, and this is true, over the years when I was a kid, probably from 13 and up, my dad for Christmas would give me money. I'd go to what they would call KB Toys or Toys R Us, and I'd buy me like $200 of wrestling figures, but I collected mine in the package. And me and my mom lived in this apartment complex, and there was a sewer problem. So I went to my girlfriend's, and she went to her sister's. All my wrestling figures, a closet so packed that you couldn't put nothing else in, gets robbed. It's gone. Well, I come in the house one day to get something, and there's a lady upstairs. And she ain't too bad looking. She might be F-O oin, foin, but she's upstairs, I think, rummaging through stuff, and I run into her, and I was like, oh, you must be with the apartments. And she goes, yeah, that's who I am. And I just had a casual conversation with her, and I went on about my day. Well,
She stole your figures, didn't she?
it turns out that her husband and her were the ones or boyfriend or whatever he was. They are the ones that stole my wrestling figures, opened up all of them out of the package and stuff. I ran into the person who not only took it but was going back for seconds, and
Proceeded to
I
just have
caught
a
her
conversation.
red-handed, and I was just like 15, 16. I didn't know. And it's probably my stupid self for even suggesting that she was with the apartments because I gave her something to lean on. So without that, what does she say? So
I
I
mean,
gave her a way out, and I
to
didn't
be
even
fair, if
know.
she said, I was gonna say, to be fair, if she would have, if say she would have thought of that, you being 15 or 16, you probably had no reason not to believe her.
Well, there was something at
Because
some point. There was something at
just
one point where like I think that guy at some point was like, "Man, that's crappy that you got robbed or something along that nature." And then I don't know how the info got back. Yeah, I do. So he tried to sell my mom's computer to one of our friends. Well, yeah, one of my brother's friends, and it had my mom's name on the login screen, and he knew it was my mom because he worked with her. So he got the cops involved, and that's when they found all my wrestling stuff. And that lady was involved, and that's the same lady I ran into. So wow, like what a day or
what a
so that
turn of
happened.
event. Yeah, I was gonna say that's a.
Yeah. Well,
Well, Joey, I'm
they
not
had
going to be one to call you a liar, but if anybody thinks he is fabricating any of that, feel free to sound off in the comments, and I might give you a follow. Or,
well,
however,
hold
but I
on.
believe you. But I will say I believe you, and
They
that's
take
what matters.
they take all my wrestling figures. Most of them were open. There were still some in packages. They take them to the police station because they got to take them in as evidence and you know count up how much has been stolen in the house. So that way they can
Charge them for
that
the
way they
proper
can
amount.
that way
Yeah,
yeah give them the proper sentence or whatever. Go, oh my god. So this is the value amount that she stole. Well, I was told by my dad that there were cops and sheriffs, and there were wagons and wagons of wrestling figures. And cops and sheriffs were saying, if that guy does not come back, I want that old WCW or ECW figure. I want that whole series right there. They were already picking at the litter.
that's crazy.
I go there, and everyone just like, yeah, your stuff's over there. It was just like a shitty day for them. And
They thought they got some free figures, and then
yeah, and I was just like, wow, like my dad was like, because one of the cops told my dad that he's like, I'll tell you what, he's like, I'm not out big on this wrestling stuff. He's like, but all these other guys around here, they know people that do. They have kids that watch it, or they could probably sell it. He's like, and there's already cops back there picking. Picking what they want if your son don't come and get it. And they're telling my dad that as we're there to pick it up. He's like, yeah, there's gonna be some people back there that's not happy because they have their eyes on some of that stuff. Yeah,
well,
man, that's like, and I had the original WWE Network. I had like over 250 WWE DVDs and VHSs and video games, all in one big shelf collection.
I just heard
And
your
not,
Xbox.
yep, I always have it. Just so I can hear it in the background. That's the thing. I don't know why I just like it. Boop. But yeah, I had all these collectible DVDs. What I would do is I would go on WWE or not. No, no. WWE shop sometimes, but most of the time I'd go on Walmart.com, buy DVDs real cheap as a bundle for $5 a pop, and build up my DVD collection. And I had some awesome ones. Well, you know how sometimes in a DVD there's like a pocket on the inside. Well, let's say I had like a John Cena DVD. I had like biographies and stuff from articles and magazines or whatever, like pages and stuff. I had cards where I'd open the pack easy and save the pack to put it in there. I mean, if you borrowed that DVD, you weren't just gonna get a DVD. You were getting like shit to pull out and read and like, dude, this dude's an ultimate fan. Like he's taking that DVD and you don't see it because it's like so compressed with the other ones. But when you open it and you see all that in there, flat like paper, and you're like, Jesus Christ! An old magazine, just like maybe his whole section of like a 2006 magazine of his T-shirt. Like, Why is that even in there? Because
You had it.
I,
Thought it
I,
would go there.
that's what I liked. I like to deck my
That makes
collection out,
sense.
and I always called it the original WWE Network. And me and my ex had a storage unit. She got what she wanted out of it and backed out. By the time she gave it to me, there was a $70 fee, and they said I got told that if you don't pay your stuff after a while, the guy just throws it in the dumpster. So it all went to hell. But oh my god, after that, everyone's like, "Well, you can start a new DVD collection." No, I can't
And
because
yeah, no, that
a lot of
what
those VHSs and burnt DVDs, I mean, they were all, trust me, they were all WWE licensed stuff. But I knew people that like had certain burnt DVDs that I may give them $1 for just to have it there. Um, VHSs with, you know, A&E specials from like 1999, one on like Andre, Mick Foley,
it's like
Taker, and
one of those like
Austin.
random showings that they just randomly have on something. Yeah. Now
I mean, yeah,
that definitely doesn't sound like a fun time, but
it was traumatizing because that was my favorite thing. When I lived in this one apartment building and had no internet, no cable, no nothing, when you got like so many wrestling options to pick from, dude, I'm fine. I can go from A to Z and then just mix match it and watch what I want. But after that, like to
you know
me,
what
I can't watch enough wrestling anyway.
you know what you need to do?
What I
You
need to
need
do, Eddie Wade.
you need to start a new collection.
I wish I could, bro.
You and everybody watching this needs to go over to prowrestlingtees.com/Eddie Wade, or just go to the website, give Eddie Wade a look. You know, just find a shirt pretty similar to this one, a few different colors. There's a shirt with this dude's face on it. I'm still trying to make some money off of that one.
Yeah, if anything, it's probably your
And
top
if
seller right there, bro.
and yeah, just if you really want to start a real collection of something that matters, go buy all my t-shirts. And I'll also be selling t-shirts this Saturday. So if you want to look a little bit like the Pulsar and have some greatness on you, then buy a t-shirt.
I don't have any on hand right now next to me. As you can see, I got a collection of my own behind me. I mean, it goes like from right here, wraps all the way to here. I mean, I almost got like a wall and a half right now of autographs, and that's just 8 by 10. Now, my main collection is the WWE cards you get in the box, the ring pieces. I have so many shirt worn pieces, wrestling worn mat pieces. I have like WrestleMania John Cena shirt pieces, the shirt he wore at WrestleMania. Uh, I mean, that's my collection now, and I won't sell that. Now, do you know the app? WhatsApp or whatever. WhatsApp?
I've
What's
heard of it.
shit? I've seen it on YouTube ads so many times. But what's not or whatever. You sell stuff on there. You buy stuff. It's like whatever. Well, I'm trying to sell some of these wrestling autographs, and I'll probably try to post a link or something where people can find that specific going live notification. So that way, um, when I do go to bid, if someone wants something, I'll have to see how it goes though, because I don't know how it works. I'll probably watch a couple YouTube tutorials while some people do it and see like how to do it. But yeah, I got autographs from people like Bret Hart to Mick Foley, Seth Rollins, Jerry Lawler, and then I even got people like Austin Michaels here, Billy Gunn, stuff like that. So I'm gonna look into that WhatsApp or whatever it is. Not that WhatsApp. I know what that is. That's a different one. That's like that text messaging app. The one I'm
Yeah,
talking
that's the one I
about is
thought.
like some yellow app, and you go on there and sell stuff and live stream and sell and stuff. So, going into this Saturday, what are do you and Golden Boy, or not? Sorry. Do you
It's
and
about to
Landon
get you.
Gray? Do you and Landon Gray have any idea what your assignments or any matches are? Is there anything that you guys know so far? What you're walking
Like
into Saturday?
I remember distinctly whenever we were in GR Hampton calling out a Sir Max Page for this specific event coming up this Saturday. And like I said earlier, I've still not got a response. My phone is always on me. I'm always listening. But nonetheless, I am prepared. I don't need an answer to be prepared to get my title back. The only thing that concerns me is if he's going to actually show up. And honestly, if he wanted to save himself some trouble, he could just hand me the title and I could walk out, go home, easy day. But more than likely, I'm going to have to put the hurting on him and show him exactly why they call me the future, exactly why they call me the Pulsar, and exactly why, since pretty much day one of my career, Austin Michaels has chosen me.
Well,
I've
okay.
said pretty
So
much, don't you go?
you
Okay.
got all this brotherhood stuff to worry about. You got this title that you're trying to get back, but in that process, you also have an RPD title that you were in the process of a super card coming up for the title. And you have a lot on your plate right now, Mr. Eddie Wade. And I'm going to let you know you have a chance to get it all back. But you and the Brotherhood kicked me to the curb when you thought I had nothing else to offer. And now I am the number one, the one and only, but the number one and only interviewer in TSW history. I am that guy. And you are Eddie Nobels now. And my question is you kicked me out for having quote unquote nothing left to offer. Do you feel that pressure on your shoulders that maybe without titles on your shoulders, that maybe Landon Gray coming into the Brotherhood, that maybe Austin Michaels has got this new toy to play with, so to speak, and maybe he's Buzz Lightyear and you're Woody?
Think about that for a second.
You know, Woody's
Austin, Woody was
old.
eventually the one chosen by Andy, so that because he was going to take him to college, so that's out
I
the
think he
window.
picked them both.
Either way, Austin
You wouldn't know
Michaels
that.
knows what value I bring. Okay,
Does he?
you see, think about this, and this is no shots at Landon. But how many matches did he have before Austin Michaels finally brought him in?
Well,
More
to
than
be
you can
honest,
think. More than you can.
to
You
be
can't. You
well,
can't think of it.
to be honest,
I had 3.
they were. Hold on. You said how many matches did Landon Gray have before this?
Before joining the Brotherhood. How
Yeah,
many?
but how? Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, him and Lennox Kid were defending the tag titles every TSW show. Sometimes you'd get a repeat contender, but whether it was Mike Murphy and Wicked Lester or this guy and that guy, they were out there defending the titles. They were out there making the tag titles more meaningful than what they are. They were out there doing everything by the book, right by the book. They were with the fans. They were with everyone. And I was actually able to get a couple interviews with him when he was still good old Golden Boy. But this Landon Gray is different. And this Landon Gray, I don't know if he and Lennox Kid have more things to deal with, or if they're done with one another.
Let me
But
put this out there. Let me go ahead and put this out there. If Landon doesn't put the end to Lennox Kid, I'm going to. I'm going to give him his chance. But if he doesn't, I'm doing it.
You know, one thing I'm just see now. This is just my Vince Russo. I always have I always have these ideas, but I think you versus Lennox Kid, mask versus mask would be a good one. Now,
No.
no one's ever gonna listen to me. I'm just interview Joey over here, but I do think that's something I'd be interested in.
Of course you would. The only reason I would ever accept a mask versus mask match was so I could do what I failed to do close to a year ago and finally expose him for the loser he is, take away his secret identity, get him locked up for being a vigilante, and then finally I will claim my place at the top of the mountain in traditional Southern wrestling.
You know, if I go to my sorry, if I go to my calendar right here, because I want to see exactly what the last podcast date is before Mania. That is the 15th. And that is the 15th in about 3 weeks. I challenge you on that last podcast for 1 point advantage to remove your mask.
No.
It's an offer. It's an offer.
That's terrible. I don't need
It,
one point. You think this mask is worth one little measly point?
it's an
And
offer.
do you even have the authority to make that kind of a call?
It's
Unless
an
you're giving up
offer.
your point.
I have a 1 point advantage. What if I gave it up? Huh? What's up with that?
Not gonna happen.
Hey, it's just an offer. That's an RPD shirt right there. It's an offer. Hey, I made Tyreek an offer, bro, and I told him that if we keep Eddie and the Brotherhood
You're a two-headed snake. That's
out of
what you are.
ours, no, out of our super card. If we made this super card all about him and me and him, and we left the Brotherhood,
Who's to say
not
Austin doesn't cash in his ring?
and you know, like I even told Tyreek, you really want to get at Eddie. Don't just take his title from him. Make it where he doesn't even have a chance to take it back at WrestleMania Supercard. I was like, that is like a low blow after winning the title. And Tyreek, good old Mr.
He made his bed.
Mr. RPD, do everything by the book, said no, I'm going to drink my milk and take my vitamins. And he goes out there and beats you for the title, fair and square. Beats me in the process. But now he's got to worry about my 1 point advantage. And what if I was willing to give my 1 point advantage to you to be used on this supercard to remove the mask?
Decline.
Hey, it's an offer. It's an offer.
I'm about to offer you my left hand and right hand to the side of your faces. Just right here and right here.
Hey, I'm an interviewer. It's an offer. That's funny as shit. But, okay. Well, I'll probably see you this weekend. And,
You better hope I don't see you this weekend. And dude, I've got to talk to you about your stupid camera crew, okay? I don't know how long they were in there, but, like, that's a total violation of my privacy. And then you barge in there.
hey, when you're me, you get the right people and they get the right stuff. And it ain't just something that they give me. They say, what do I get in return? And I say, It's an offer.
I think with that, I'm going to offer to wrap this episode up. So, is there any closing thoughts you have?
Well, I just want to know. I guess I was gonna just ask you, like, how do you plan on getting not one but two of your titles back? I mean, you lost them. You
If
can't
I'm
get them
being
back the
completely
same. You
honest
can't get
with
them back
you,
that
I
way.
have three titles on my mind right now.
Oh, what's that?
I have the Brotherhood Championship, which I'm going to rightfully claim this Saturday if Max Page shows up.
Yeah, you don't got that one.
At WrestleMania, I take back the Ring Post Daily Prophecy Champion and once again become Eddie Two Belts.
Yeah, you
And
ain't got that
then,
one either.
and then in May, when all the titles are on the line, me and the Perfect Creation are going to take the tag team championships and make them the best that they've ever been because they are simply being held by us. And then for the first time in history, 83 belts will
Ooh,
roam Earth.
I never thought of that. Well, I'm glad I used my 1 point advantage now because I want to stop that 83 belts. And now I'm glad you said that because that really does. That's like when Tyreek took the title. Like that, I told Tyreek this straight up. I told Tyreek, I said, "You're not even a wrestler or involved in TSW." I was like, and you took a title from the Brotherhood. I was like, think about it like that. Tyreek took the title from Eddie Wade and the Brotherhood. Like, wow. It's crazy how our worlds just entwine like that. It ain't like you're just good old Eddie Wade out there and you lost your RPD belt. No, you represent the Brotherhood. Your title is their title. And yeah, he took that title from the Brotherhood. So now I have a chance to play a role in either winning and keeping you from being Eddie three belts, or I can lose and contribute to you becoming Eddie one, then two, then three belts. So I really hope if I don't win, Tyreek does. Because I can't imagine a world Eddie Wade. How you gonna walk to the ring with three belts? Have you ever even
That's
thought of
a
that?
that is a interesting point.
I'm a
However,
interviewer.
however, I think when the time comes, I will simply just show the world how Eddie Three Belts makes a proper entrance to the ring.
Dear Lord. Dear
But
Lord.
yeah, no, I think other than you specifically, yes, you. I see you there on your couch watching this video. Buy my shirt.
Yeah, because everybody will buy the shirt that you can walk around and it say "ew." Just playing, buddy. But yeah, go buy your Eddie Wade shirt. Get Eddie Wade's shirt because whether I'm his manager or not, I'm not. But whether I'm his manager or not, I always support everyone on here, friend or foe. And yeah, check out his t-shirts. His little t-shirts. He's a tiny pickle. Yeah. So I got one more question, and it's just something that just hit me now, and
Make
this
it
might,
worth it.
I think it really is. Maybe you haven't thought about it, but I'm gonna make you think about it now. Have you ever thought about what you're gonna do with the mask if and when the time comes, where either you unmask yourself or whatever. But is there anything? Is there ever a time in the future where you ever think like, well, if I ever lose my mask, I'm gonna do this with that? What would you do with it?
I'm that's something that's not gonna happen.
Okay, but
I don't know.
hypothetically, if you were
I
to
don't live in a
lose
world.
it,
I don't live in a world of hypotheticals.
okay,
There,
but what would you do with your mask if you decided to hang it up
if
and
I
wrestle
decide
without
that
it?
one day that the people are worthy enough to see my face, I will put it in storage and keep it in pristine condition because I know soon enough after I do it, the people are going to do something and they're going to no longer be worthy of seeing my face. So therefore, I will have to put it right back on. You know
I
what?
would buy. I would
Actually,
buy it off you for. I'd buy it off you
April
for three
Fools.
dollars. I'd buy it off you for $3.
How about you pay me $3 not to punch you in the face next time I see you?
Oh, bully taking the lunch money. Wow, ain't that new? Ain't that original? And you would be the perfect bully with the initials E.
Sorry.
But yeah, I wish you the best of luck Saturday. So, are you telling me that Saturday is the beginning of your Eddie three belt? Uh,
If my challenge from if my previously stated challenge is accepted, then yes, then I will be. It's all a matter of if I get this title
so
shot.
if you so if Max Page and
If
TSW
Max
agree that
Page
you get
decides
the
to clock
match,
into work, and if Mike Woody decides that he's not gonna play this, oh, you're in the Brotherhood, so I'm gonna put him and him in your match, and now it's a fatal four way. Like, no,
now
1-on-one.
Max Max Page is a fighting champion, and I think if he's there, he'd take your offer up. But if he takes your offer up, you're saying Saturday is the beginning of
Yes, the
Eddie.
beginning of Eddie
Okay.
Three Belts.
Well, I can't wait to be there Saturday because whether you win or lose, I want to get an interview with you after the match. Whether it goes your way or doesn't, I want to know what's on your mind after the results, after everything sets in. Do you win and get to become Eddie three belts? Or do you get to become Eddie two belts again? Possibly. I mean,
Win,
even if you lose this
win,
opportunity, you still have two title opportunities.
not if, but when. Well, I'm saying that like I'm sure he's going to be there, but let's say he is. Let's just pretend that he's not ducking me. When I win back the Brotherhood champion, not only am I going to make it so miserable for every one of you who were cheering and having such a good time when Max Page cheated to beat me, I'm going to make sure each and every one of you knows how insufferable I truly can be.
Well, I'm glad you got that beef with Paige because I have a beef with Tyreek, and I'm gonna give him the birthday present he deserves, and that's the truth. And the truth is he thinks he's Mr. RPD, and you can be Mr. Brotherhood, Mr. TSW. He thinks he's Mr. RPD, but in reality, he's not. And after this WrestleMania Supercard, and I take his newly won RPD title, he is going to realize that not only is he not Mr. RPD, but he's been facing and staring at Mr. RPD every Wednesday, Thursday, any podcast given night. Anytime that Tyreek's been in the same episode as me, same phone call as me, same picture as me, he's always been second to the real Mr. RPD. He just hasn't realized that yet. And after this supercard, that's what he is going to realize. And even if you do come in first place and win the title, my goal was to send Tyreek down to third place. But just to say that I personally, if I'm second and he's third, I still beat him. My goal is to beat Mr. RPD, but I want to be that champion too. I want to take the title off him, and I want to make sure Eddie 3 belts don't happen. So, and I'm going into this with a 1 point advantage.
Definitely, you're gonna definitely need it.
Now Tyreek, he had the chance to pick the like you said, you should watch the product more, bud, because as we were talking a while back ago, I told him,
say that.
How many times have we had a call your shot contract cashed in? Once, right, Jesse?
Just once, yep.
Yeah. So it's obvious, but he cashed in the traditional way it should be, a one-on-one title match. Now, I told Tyreek, I was like, have you realized that the call your shot contract holder has never chosen their opponent? And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, let's say you go and beat Eddie and me and become RPD champion at Revolution Elimination Supercard. I was like, you have the title and call your shot contract. Now, I was like, now you can face Austin. I was like, but if you wanted to, you could pick your own opponent and be the first one to ever do that. No one's ever had to call your shot contract, all the titles or one of the titles, and said, you know what, I'm going to use my call your shot at
I
this.
think this June, whenever I do win the call your shot, I'm gonna make sure that I keep it for the most. I'm gonna keep it for the most opportune time, and then I'm gonna cash in. I'm gonna get the ring, and this is gonna be after I win at this Mania. And then once I have the ring, I'm gonna roll around next year, and I'm gonna hold that call your shot contract, and I'm gonna hold it hostage.
Okay, here's another thing. What if? Okay, let's say we all play. We have a actually. I know it's on Facebook. I know it's on Ring Post Daily. But I know that we have, from time to time, rare occasions, 1 point advantages, which is what I have. And when it comes to 1 point advantages, let's say you, me, and Tyreek are all in a triple threat, and me and Eddie tie. Or no. No. I don't know. It'd be stupid, I guess. But if I won the 1 point advantage and to decide to throw it away and just say, screw it, I want to use it on the supercard I just won. Like, but you just won the 1 point advantage. You're like, you won by 2 points. Screw it. I want to use it here and now. I want to cash it in on the supercard that I just won it and win by 3. like no one's ever.
That's some real stat padding right there.
No one has a real what?
Stat padding.
What's that?
It's when you do. Watch Shea Gilchrist Alexander play basketball. He is a stat padder. He stat pads with free throws. It's essentially when you're only like you're making plays to only directly impacting your statistical numbers. Like there was a dude in the NBA who was 1 rebound shy of a double-double. So he shot it on the other team's goal off the backboard to try to get the 10th rebound. But they were like, no, dude, that's way too blatant. Because he literally shot it on the other team's basket. Like, that's almost as blatant as that.
Dude, this sounds like my type of basketball player. That's smart thinking. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. I refer to it as Seth Rollins in it, because Seth Rollins is like a lot of the first NXT champion, first this and that, first this and that, first this and that. So I always call it Seth Rollins in it, but yeah, like no one has ever done that. Like it's crazy. Like there's so many things here in the podcast we haven't done. I did tell him, and I'll tell you. I told Tyreek. So what is coming up is the winner of this super card, WrestleMania super card, will get a little mystery. Not only will they become champion and get that title, but they will get a little something neat. What's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? It's like COMM. Almost okay. So
Commemorative.
I'm thinking I'm thinking of the word like it's almost like complimentary, almost along them lines.
Complimentary.
I guess, yeah. But someone will get a little complimentary package and they can unbox it live on the episode. And like I told Tyreek, even if I win, I'll buy it for myself because I think it's a pretty cool idea. But if you or Tyreek win, I'm going to personally send the winner a little something special for winning the WrestleMania Supercard. Because I told Tyreek, I want to make WrestleMania Supercards mean something on RPD. WrestleMania is the biggest wrestling show of the calendar year. Doesn't matter if it's WWE or wrestling in general. And WrestleMania is the biggest 2-night show there is. And I think that we should, and like, not to throw shade or start stuff, but when Jesse was here, I really couldn't talk to him and say, hey, I want to make WrestleMania its own night, its own pay-per-view. It don't need to be WrestleMania in the Super Kingdom pay-per-view, the Mexican Libre one, the New Japan one, the GCW. It don't have to be 7-1. Like, to be honest, there is a super card coming up, and it goes from and it goes from like a 3-week period of time. But see, there's a 1 point advantage pay per view too, a different a little side card. So during while everyone's competing for the ring, I believe it is, those people will also be competing for like because okay, so
Overlapping events or
Supercard
super cards.
42 is going to be WWE Backlash on May 9th, Saturday night's main event on May 23rd, and Clash in Italy WWE on May 31st. So all three of those weeks right there, bang, 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 WWE is going pretty crazy. It's for the ring. It's Supercard 42, and it's for the ring general title. And there's also, I think it's maybe a TNA or a AEW pay per view. I think it's an AEW. There's an AEW pay per view, and it's gonna be its own one card. It's one pay per view solo card for a 1 point advantage. The same thing I hold now. If I didn't cash mine in, I'd have one now, and I could have had a 2 point advantage. And no one's ever done that in history of RPD. No one has ever turned a 1-pointer into a 2-point advantage. No one's ever turned a 1-point advantage to a 2-point advantage. So I threw history away. But that's because I was smart to do so. Now that you revealed your little Eddie 3-belt secret. So now,
Wouldn't necessarily say it was a secret. This is just the first time I've said it out
well,
loud.
that's true. That's true. That's true.
But I think
I'm a
anybody
wrestling
who
journalist. I can
knows
admit when I'm wrong.
anybody who knows me knows that all I care about in this business is titles, money, fame, and just everything that comes with it. Yeah, I like to get in there and hit people every now and again. But what I
Well, that
love,
is his
what I
job.
crave, is the feeling of after I beat the snot out of some worthless little punk, I get to hold up that championship and I am everything this business needs. Like I can't even put it into words. But the
Well, like I
epiphanies that I've had since that blow to the head, everybody needs to know exactly that Eddie Wade is the unstoppable future. He is the pulsar. And yes, he is talking in third person, but he doesn't care because he's going to hurt anyone who dares to try to step in my way and get my titles that were promised to me.
well, the two people who loses at this WrestleMania 41 Supercard, they fall back to the bottom, and they fight for the Ring Post Daily Ring General title. Like I said, back last Saturday Night Main Event in Clash in Italy. Now, if you uh, if you lose here at WrestleMania Supercard, it's kind of like a reset because now there's a new goal on the horizon for the losing two of the Supercard, and that is dethroning the Brock Lesnar scheduled Austin Cochran,
At this
the
point,
Ring General Champion.
We got Brock and Roman of our own here. I mean,
I know I
if
am like Roman to you, ain't I? I'm glad you saw that.
no,
Oh,
no,
bro, that
no,
is
no.
so
I was not
sweet.
talking about you. I was talking about
Oh, okay,
Tyreek,
okay,
who doesn't
okay,
show
okay.
up, and then I was
Hey,
talking about Austin, who doesn't show up. Now
hey,
listen, listen. The relationship here is simple. I am the blazing hot, fiery superstar with all the momentum, and you're the dried up fruit that I tried to carry along the way but just couldn't. But hey, you found your
I
thing.
think I carried you.
Well, you can live in that delusion all you want, but I think this is where I'm going to call it for myself. I'm sure Joey's got some things to do. I've got a little renegade to prepare for if he even shows up. I'm going to anticipate that he will
Well,
because
I'm gonna go and wish you luck on Saturday, and hope things go your way, man. Because you got 83 belts on the horizon, and it sounds like you got some major goals. One, two, three, knock them all down. But hey, quick question: were you watching Raw this Monday?
yes, I caught Raw this Monday.
Did you hear the Usos' new theme song?
Yeah, not a fan of it really. I mean, it's not bad, but
Dude, I thought it was a banger. That
I
the
mean,
new green colors on their
but I
Titantrons and
like
the
the colors.
ring.
The colors were
Oh,
cool. No, I love
the
the
songs.
colors.
I like the song.
It's a
Like
good song.
maybe
It's just
maybe not the
like
whole
it
"We
might
the
have to.
One,"
I
but
was gonna say it might have to grow on me a little bit. I don't know. I really like the one that they were using before. The
so
one that's pretty
far,
much Jey Uso's
sorry,
song, but the one
sorry.
that's pretty much Jey Uso's theme song, but just Usos instead of Jay. The one
By the
they had
way,
before.
by
But
the way, I
yeah,
wasn't
go
trying to
ahead.
interrupt you. I just know that you were in a hurry, and I was just gonna say that we have 12 matches as of right now for WrestleMania. Now, I think that's like six not matches a night. You gotta. I did tell Tyreek that if they do the Andre Battle Royal the Friday night before, we will all vote on that. Uh, and just for a little bit of a WrestleMania season type thing, if they have any title matches on the Friday night, maybe the maybe the SmackDown titles ain't tag titles ain't defended at Mania, but it's on the Friday night SmackDown before. Well, tag title matches included because we're just trying like Tyreek and me, we said, we're just trying to have fun on here, and it doesn't hurt every once in a while to throw that stuff in there. That's what makes it
No, I think
fun.
those are
Um,
those would make
it,
sense to be added to the
yeah,
Supercard.
it ain't like I'm saying throw the whole SmackDown card on there. Just the ones that matter, like the
I
title
was gonna say,
matches.
let me see. It ain't
Um,
like we're pulling from the main event of that week, that they're
and the
pre-taping.
reason I do that too is because it is the night before Mania. Now, it ain't like I'm saying the Monday Night Raw before Mania. That's a whole week before. But Friday Night SmackDown the night before, if they're gonna kick off WrestleMania season with an Andre the Giant Battle Royal and some title matches, yeah, I don't see no problem doing points like that because I think it's fun. I think it gives everybody a little bit more to fight for, a few more points in there
A few more points on the board.
yeah, a few more points to wrestle with, and those little points, that one extra point here and there, that Andre the Giant Battle Royal by itself, you get that right. That 1 point could put you in the lead and keep you there the whole time. Every point in a supercard like this matters. And I'm gonna let you go though. I know you got some stuff to do. He is the Brotherhood member, the Pulsar of professional wrestling. He is Eddie Wade. Catch him on TSW this Saturday. Maybe fighting for the Brotherhood Championship if Max Page does accept his offer to defend it. He will be fighting for his Ring Post Daily title rematch against Tyreek and myself in the WrestleMania Supercard here in 3 weeks. And he's focusing on tag team title gold. So good luck to Eddie Wade, who's got a lot on his plate. He declares himself to be the pole star, and I think if you can pull off 83 belts, I think there'll be no doubt in people's minds that maybe you are exactly the pole star. And I am TSW interviewer, Ring Post Daily co-host, etc. Joey Hudson. This is the Ring Post Daily podcast. We'll see you in the next one. And as we always say, happy wrestling and happy birthday to co-host and RPD champion Tyreek Ramsey. Till next time, happy wrestling, y'all.